From the prophet of henna bleeds to Halley's Comet's deadly gas engulfing Earth, to Nostradamus, Y2K, and finally the crazy theories that surrounded 2012 in the Mayan calendar, history shows many failed attempts at trying to predict the end of the world. We can only imagine how hard the Mayans must be laughing now. As humans, we are obsessed with finding answers to unanswered questions. In a way, it is what defines us as a species with our intricate brains. But when it really comes down to it, we need more than just a 5,000-year-old calendar to depict when the world is going to end. That is why today, I will share with you the facts and theories behind the real possibilities of the world ending. One of the main ways that I think the world will end is from a Malthusian catastrophe. From 1804 to 1927, our population went from 1 billion to 2 billion, and then doubled again less than 50 years later. As of 2014, we have a population of 7.2 billion and still growing. See, every environment has a carrying capacity, which is the amount of species it can hold, taking into account its resources. The population of the human species is very close to that carrying capacity. This is a major problem because we are already exploiting 25% of the world's fossil fuels beyond renewal. If the population continues to have a rapid increase, then we will soon run out of fossil fuels. Since we humans don't change our consumption, most countries will start conflict over who gets to exploit the rest of the fossil fuels, therefore resulting in another world war. Because of this, the world will become confused over what is going on, and since we have amazing weapons, we might just see a flurry of warheads that will destroy almost all life, making Earth uninhabitable for any living organism. Another problem that's currently happening that could end our world is global warming. Global warming has been confirmed since the industrial age, and because of that, CO2 levels have increased by 150% in the last 150 years due to fossil fuel combustion. This has led to a rise of average temperatures with effects that are clearly visible in the Arctic region. Now you all may say, who needs polar bears anyways? They're just polar bears. The Arctic region could perish for all I care. Well, that's not the problem I'm discussing here. If the Arctic region disappeared, this would have major effects on sea levels, which would rise by 216 feet, and several major cities around the world would sink. With this, cities that make exports or receive imports would be lost, and economy would go down, leading us into another Great Depression. Since these things would be gone in almost every economically stable country, high-ranking wealthy people from different parts of the world will once again have a chance to overpower every other country. It's not as if they already do with their corporate ideas or anything. Another thing that could end our world is an experimental accident. In the past, we humans have done several things that could have caused the world to end. Some of these things include the Large Hadron Collider, SETI, and Starfish Prime. Although there were known chances of any accidents, researchers still took these chances and endangered our existence. If scientists and researchers are able to take such risks with no hesitation just because there's a small chance, then we may just end up destroying ourselves with an experiment that goes terribly wrong. Even though I may have traumatized you with my talk about the world ending, it doesn't necessarily mean that these things cannot be prevented. Building awareness towards these issues is the first step, followed then by how they can be prevented. For instance, if the government started investing in the research of eco-friendly and renewable sources of energy, we could prevent global warming. Placing limits on birth rates so that they'd match up with death rates would aid in staying within our carrying capacity, and we could prevent a Malthusian catastrophe. Scientific research also needs to be moderated to prevent mistakes that can end our world and more than just the human species. This problem is something that each and every one of us should think and know about because it directly affects you and I, as well as everything else that lives on this planet. If we keep exploiting our world, there will come a day when we don't have enough vital resources to survive day to day. Limiting our resources and reproduction could help sustain Earth for future populations as the human population flourishes.